that need insurance.
On the other hand, when you were coming up with your 11% and you're having the cost of the federal budget, would this be then raising the cost of the federal budget?
No, it wouldn't, because what we would do is we would cut the federal budget. And where some additional funds would come from is that when an investor has municipal bonds are not taxable income to the federal government. You have municipal bonds, say like the Kishwaukee Community Hospital or something like that.
They're federal tax-free
Right.
bonds.
That's not in the $32.2 trillion. But when you factor that in, then you could use that money.
When you say factor that in, all of a sudden they would no longer be tax-free.
They would not be tax-free.
Wouldn't that damage municipal government and their ability
No,
to
it
raise
wouldn't.
money?
No, it wouldn't, because this is an example. To prove my point, I went ahead and bought some municipal bonds. I'm getting 5.5% interest on them right now. I don't pay any tax on it. It's a great deal. Where can you get 5.5% interest today? Nowhere. You can't get it in the market. You can't get it from banks.
Right.
So therefore,
But they would be less attractive if that 5% would then be in tax.
not necessarily. You're only paying 11.1% on the 5.5% interest that you're getting. It would not be less attractive because you'd still be ahead of the game.
On foreign policy, have you thought about what positions you would take on any number of the issues?
Right. Let's take Israel and the Palestinians. That's always been a hotbed of contention throughout the world. I believe that, in all fairness, if those people would just get together and take the time that they're human beings to sit down and talk and raise their children in such a manner, instead of being warlike, to be more humanizing, it will help solidify the problem over there. I think that there can be a solution, and I think there can be a solution through negotiation. War is only going to create war in that part of the country, and we don't want to do that. But we also want to support our allies as we want allies to support us.
What are your thoughts? Who have you typically? You're Republican. Did you support President Bush? Did you support us going into Iran? And if so, what do you think of the way the war was executed?
I support President Bush when we went into Iran. I feel that there was weapons of mass destruction there at one time. Because of the stall tactics that Aziz had in the United Nations, he put it off for inspectors going in there for a couple of years. By that time, Saddam Hussein had enough time to get rid of all of the paperwork and all the weapons that he had. We know he had them because he used them on his own people. So I think President Bush did the right thing.
Have you had any conversations with anyone in the hierarchy of the Republican Party in Illinois, such as Mr. Brady or Andy McKenna?
I've talked with Andy McKenna, and he offered his office to my assistants.
What kind of course, these are expensive offices. Millions and millions of dollars have to be raised. Have you looked at that challenge, and how are you prepared to raise the kind of dollars that you would need to raise to become competitive?
That's the $64,000 question, okay. But
that's why I asked.
That's why you asked it, right?
But you don't get $64,000 for me asking.
No, right, okay. The way I feel about that is that this flat tax is going to be beneficial to both Democrats and Republicans alike. If you make $65,000 a year, you're going to have over $5,000 a year in your pocket to spend. Right now, they just gave us $250 as a stimulus. I'm giving you $5,000 every year. Now, we're a populist candidate, and we would like the people to get behind us. There's 14 million people in the state of Illinois. If we have 500,000 of those give us $25 each, we would have enough money to do the campaign, and that's what we hope for.
All right. Bob Zadek, thanks for joining us on the Illinois Channel.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
You're watching the Illinois Channel, an independent nonprofit corporation formed to provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of Illinois state government and other public affairs events taking place across Illinois. If you have any comments or questions on our programming, please email us at illinoischannel@aol.com. Or if you have any questions about the Illinois Channel, please visit our website at www.illinoischannel.org.